That's great. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, one minute, David. We're coming. Yeah, continue to share the program, please, with your friend. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, that is.
Yes, David, let the song finish first.
volume is off. Volume is off.
Yeah. Dear viewers, this is Peter Deng from Africa World Books, and our program will be introduced by David Havan, and in the studio is Dr. William Kapoor, and many other speakers will come. Dr. David Havan, please continue introducing the program. Thank you. David, David Havan,
He might have just gone out.
uh, David Havan. David Haban, are you there? David Haban, please let us know if you are there.
It's coming, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. We shall be joined. Be patient.
I can
We
hear
have.
all of you.
Yeah. Okay. You can introduce the program now, David. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
I
you are
can't
very
hear
clear,
you.
David. You are very clear. We can hear you talk. You can talk now.
Oh.
David Haban, are you there?
Yes, I am. I can hear you.
Coming, I think.
Okay. Then you can talk now, David.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, everybody hears me well?
Yes. You're very clear, David.
Okay, that's all right.
Clear. We can hear you talk. You can talk now.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I just...
David Haban, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I can hear you. Coming, I think. Okay. Then you can talk now, David.
All good?
Can you hear me now? Yes.
Okay.
Everybody hears me well? Yes. You're very clear, David.
Okay,
You're
that's
very
all right.
clear. We can hear you talk. You can talk now.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I just...
David Haban, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I can hear you.
But it appears this is...
You can talk now, David.
It's playing up. It's
Okay.
playing up.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody hears me well? Yes. You're very clear, David.
Okay,
You're very clear. We can hear you talk. You can talk now.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
David Haban, are you there? Yes, I am.
I think what is playing at the background is a repeated thing.
Yeah, it's a repeated thing. So Peter will need to fix
Yeah, it
it.
is playing up. It's repeating itself. I don't know why.
So ask Peter to fix it.
No, Mr. Luan, the thing is repeating itself. I think what is playing at the background is a repeated thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a repeated thing. So
What the hell is this?
look like it's better now. It's gone.
Sorry, there is a technical issue. David, are you there?
Yeah, but I can hear you still.
Okay, now you continue. Now it's clear. Okay, thank you.
Is it clear now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience which just happened. And this is to do with technology, but not to do with the personality. However, all in all, we are going to complete our program so successfully. Compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to this anniversary as we commemorate the Martyrs' Day. This is a very historic day in the lives of South Sudanese and in the lives of Africa as a whole, because through this struggle and through the lives of many of our brothers and sisters, our fathers, our mothers, we added one country to Africa. Is that not great for us, South Sudanese? It is also on this day that we reflect and that we think of the historical struggles the people of South Sudan went through so many years while under repressive regimes in the north, where South Sudanese had no voice at all. And that was why immediately after the independence, our country and our leadership declared a National Martyrs' Day. And this is what all of us are joining hands to commemorate and to pay our tributes to those who shed their life for this beautiful country that we now call the South Sudan. Not to prolong my introductory message to you, let me invite each and everyone who is now tuned on and those who are also struggling to come in to this program. We have some housekeeping things that I wanted also to bring to your attention. The first is that we are remembering the lives of people. And that means let it be for the meaning that we're remembering them for. There is going to be some sensitivity, and we need to respect our words. Number two, to whoever may be given chance to say some few words, I would appreciate if you stick to your time. And when it comes to the fact that you are told to stop, I would also appreciate if you honestly stop it. The third thing is that for those who will be viewing us or those who are tuning on, some people may have something to say. If you have got a question or you want to comment, try to notify the moderator that you have got something to comment, and then it should be allowed first before interjecting. The final thing is that I really wanted to say that it is unfortunate that South Sudanese, wherever they are today, they are not celebrating this day like they used to celebrate, where we used to have dancing, gatherings, and speeches from many people and so on. Because of the current restrictions of the COVID-19, which affects people all over the world. And as a result, such big occasions are now celebrated in closed door. And that is why you and me are today online. Therefore, without wasting any much time, I wanted to bring our first and a foremost person who actually is behind this celebration that we're having today, Comrade Honorable Atem Yak, if you are still there, we wanted you to give your reflections on this day. And I understand that you have got only 10 minutes. I didn't have much to say about you, but I think you may shed light on who you are. And then your reflections should really be on the liberation struggles from 1955 up to 1972. And then from there, we will see what comes next. Commander or Comrade Honorable Atem Yak, if you're there, please, can you come on the stage? Thank you.
Um, it is very unfortunate that Honorable Tim will not be with us today. He lost one of the relatives, and I think the message was passed on to David Tange. So I apologize on his behalf. And if you could give Dr. William a chance to finish, because he's going somewhere, then that would be really good. Thank you.
Okay. I wasn't informed about this before, but things can happen like that. We wish him all the best for the family. And Dr. William, if you're there, I would invite you to be the first guest speaker for this occasion. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you very much for your great introductions of the program. And, you alert us about what we need to remember as a community, as a society, as a colleagues, as people who struggle to get the independence of our country. So, with that remark, I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to thank Peter Lual for the work that he has done with the committee, and especially with the SPLM leadership, or the SPLM chapter in Australia. They have organized this day for us to be able to honor our brothers, our sisters who lost their life during the struggle. So it was they lost their life because of the freedom, because of the country, because of the land that uh, our generation, the current generation, and the next generation will enjoy the freedom. So I was asked on to reflect from 2005 and to 2013. Uh, my reflections, we all knows how a struggle that we struggled during the movement, during the guerrilla, when we were fighting to get our right. So the South Sudanese were very much united, and they were united under our chairman, our great leader John Grant, and people were really very passionate. Even if there were no resources, there were no major resources that were available, but they were united with the aim of liberation, with the aim of saving life of those who were marginalized, and I'm talking about women and children, because South Sudan was neglected by the Khartoum government by then. So the Khartoum government did not pay, too much attention in terms of putting resources as developing the South Sudan, or the uh, South um, South Sudan by then. Now, in 2005, there were major things that happened. So the peace agreement was signed, and we were given, opportunity to rule ourselves as independent state, and that was a time that, when peace was signed. So people were very, very, very excited. So we went in. I remember the first group when the group went into to Juba, and group went into Khartoum. When John Graham went into Khartoum, was very exciting movement for us. At the same time, the same year is the year that we lost our great leader. So it became a very painful year for us when we lost, our leader, the leader that we were having hope that is going to, liberate us as a society. So we lost him, uh, you know, um, during the helicopter crash. Now, um, our our current leaders, including the president Salva Kiir Mayar, um, took the opportunity to bring the community together and bring us together and support us. So there was a little hope that was provided when President Salva, took over the leadership, uh, uh, and the rest join him and support him. So there was a little hope. There was a hope for us that yes, we lost a great leader. We lost many people, but it's still, the country is moving forward. So uh, Kiir, President Kiir, with his supporters, with his governments and people who were working with him, he worked well. He tried his best. He worked well for the independent, for us to go through referendums. So until we achieve the referendum, uh, for us, when we were recognized as a nation, we came into a referendum. Then things fall apart. Things fall apart because of the leadership, because of the chaos start with the leadership when the vice president, by then, who is also a current past president at the moment, with his allies, decided that the leader who is by President Kiir was incompetent, and therefore we need to change the leadership. So they have done this without thinking about the consequences. What is going to happen, for the new nation, a nation that is not well prepared in terms of resources, where the nation that just came out from the guerrilla war, the war zone, the nation that has many people that are traumatized, the nation that has many people that the only word that they know, the language that they know, is the language of war. So there is no any group that talk about the language of peace. So it's only language of war that people know, language of destruction. So things fall apart in that way, and again we lost many people. As a society, as a nation, we lost many people, and these are the people that we are remembering them. We remember those people who were lost in 2013. We remember those people who were lost, in many years before that time, during Anyanya one, or even during SPLM movement. So these are the people that we remember them today. We honor them. We respect their family, the young children. That if they have left young children behind, their widows. It is a time that we can honor them. We can say, you did not die for in vain. You die for the freedom of this country. You die because of the
You have
land.
2 minutes left, Mr. Dr.
Thank you.
William.
So you die because of that. So for us as a society, we need to reflect on this, and we need to be able to celebrate, the life of those people who lost their life. To finish up, I just wanted to say, for us as a society, we need to reflect on this journey and also think about how we can build, the peace among us. And it has to be we have to start within the individual, from individual level, to the national level. So we need to think about what role do I need to play in terms of bringing peace in this country, in terms of development. So we need to think about that. That is a challenge that I'm going to leave with many of us, many of you who are listening here today. With that, I would like to finish up and thanks all the audience and the organizers and Peter and also David Afan who are leading this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. William, and thank you very much for your reflections. Indeed, you mentioned and highlighted the unity of South Sudanese, especially before things went apart. And you also highlighted the diversity and the levels of sacrifices that South Sudanese made since many years back up to where they are today. And these are really very important messages that we need to take from your words and the many other words that you have mentioned. And we thank you a lot, and I hope people really got the message. Indeed, before we go to the next speaker, who I'm going to introduce soon, we are celebrating this year at a time we have got a relative peace in our country. And this will be a great achievement that our people have made. And this celebration is not only for one particular party or one particular group. It is a celebration of all South Sudanese, because all South Sudanese, wherever they are, they contributed one way or the other, and they lost relatives, friends, and parents throughout these times of struggle. So whoever has joined in, you are most welcome, because it is the celebration of all South Sudanese. Without wasting time, let me invite our second speaker, Comrade James Mangar, if you will be there. And then your reflections on the liberation should look at what happened between 1972 up to 83. This one should have been before even Dr. Williams say. And then if you can also shed some light on what happened in 1972 agreement. Comrade James Mangar, if you're there, please come on board. Is Comrade Mangar there?
No, I don't think if he hasn't sent in his request.
Okay.
But I think we'll join in the middle. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay, if he joins later, and then there is no problem.
Yeah.
Is Comrade Peter Duchi there today?
Yeah, David.
If Peter Duchi is there, let him get ready after this music. Your topic is going to be quick backup Thank you for that piece of music. Is Comrade Peter there?
Can I put the music on while we're waiting for the speakers? We will be joined by Dr. Santino. Yeah, thank you. Dr. Santino, please join us. Anybody who is free, some of the speakers are still coming. Thank David Haban. Thanks, Dr. William Abur, and all those who are watching. Please continue sharing the programs. It is a good day to remember those who have devoted their life for the benefit of South Sudanese who are living now. And without their effort, we would have not obtained our independence. Waiting for the speakers to join. We shall be joined soon by some of the speakers. We are waiting for them. William
Okay.
Okur is coming back to answer one of the questions from David Tang. It's good that there is a question from David Tang, and please feel free to ask questions.
Yes, William, if you're there, please, can you answer that?
Yes, William.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, there is a question from David Tang. What
Yep.
role should I play as an individual to bring a permanent peace to South Sudan? A great reflection. Thank you. That's what David said. What role shall individual South Sudanese play to bring back a permanent peace?
We thank you, thank you. It's a great question, and I think we have to bring it from personal level for us to have peace in that in this country or in South Sudan. Now, we each and every individual have a capacity to bring peace. We may think that is a government that can bring peace. No, we people are the citizen of that country, or the citizen of this country, which is the South Sudan, are the main people that can bring peace, and we must start our peace within ourselves by working with one another in a compassionate way, by taking care of one another, by seeing things, by avoiding anything that can cause destruction. We had enough conflict.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had
yeah,
enough
yeah, yeah.
serious issues that we face. It is time for us now to be able to say, enough is enough, and I'm here for peace, and I will champion peace. My role at the individual level, I will be using the language of peace rather than the language of destruction, rather than the language that has confused many generations, and keep the country hostage without development, without progress. Whether the language that killed many people. I think we need to avoid that and think about peace, and that peace we can be all peace ambassadors to ourselves, to our brothers, to our families, to our community, to our government, to to people that we engage. And I think we can realize that we can live in a peaceful country. We know that the country is very challenging in terms of services, in terms of trauma. What we have gone through is it will take a while, but I think yes, cd David, we can play a role from individual level to um, to show the language of peace in wherever we engage with people.
Uh, okay, thank you very much for answering that. Uh, I'm quite sure this question can be answered many, many, many ways. And Dr. William, thank you for that. And Comrade David Tang, thank you for asking that question. I think what I will really say is that there is a lot that we can do to become ambassadors of peace and advocates of peace, especially when we look at the social media. Sometimes you find very provocative messages are sent through social media. These messages, in particular, do not bring peace to people. Let us be always sending a message of coexistence, a message of love for each other, a message of nationalism, of the feeling that we as South Sudanese together, we can make South Sudan great. I think this will help us a lot. Thank you very much for that question, and let's go ahead. And I've noticed that Santino is already, yeah, I think he's already going to be online. Dr. Santino, if you will be there, and I do understand that you are required to reflect on what happened from 83 up to 2005. And I do understand that actually the historical part of the event have not been narrated very much yet, and I don't know if someone will come back to look into that later. But Dr. Santino, then you're most welcome.
Okay, we are kind of waiting for Dr. Santino and many other
Play
speakers.
fast music.
Yep. Okay. Let's try to get music. But, Dr. Santino, I've sent you the links and many other speakers. I think you have the link in your inbox or messenger. Please try to join such that we finish in time or on time. I know there are a lot of things. Many of you are very busy, but please try to join. Continue, David, while we're waiting.
Okay. How about if we go to another speaker while Dr. Santino is still organizing himself? Is Comrade Nyok Achos Gore online? Is Comrade Nyok Achos Gore online? Moderator, can you respond to me, please?
I haven't seen him, so he may join.
Freedom, 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 yes, freedom, 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 yes, freedom. Some people would say separation is the key. Some people would say and pretend to be free. Some would be staying in dilemma. Listen to your heart and choose your life. I wanna live in peace. I wanna be free. I wanna live in peace. I wanna be
What's happening to the music?
freedom, 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 yes, freedom, freedom, freedom.
You could come in to replace Dr. Santino as he's still preparing, and then if you could have some few minutes, maybe 5 minutes until when Dr. Santino comes in, and then we can allow you to do your whatever you have been doing. Comrade Teng, are you there?
Please, if you are in the list of the speakers, can you just follow the links and be in the room, please? Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Santino is coming.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try. Okay. Yep, he has joined now, and yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Dr. Santino. Yep.
Dr. Santino,
Hello, everyone.
you're more than welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Okay. You have got 10 minutes. You can go ahead.
Okay, can you introduce what you want me to reflect on?
Okay. According to my program here, Dr. Santino, you will be reflecting on what happened between 1983 to 2005 as we commemorate this historic Martyrs Day, which actually happened on the 30th of July but because it is a working day, so it has been moved to today. And we didn't have the first speaker who could have given us the historical background of what happened in the South. And then we didn't have also Comrade James Mangar, who could have mentioned something between 1972 to 1983. He wasn't there. And then we had Dr. William Abur, who narrated what happened between 2005 up to 2011. So we're actually jumping up and down, not chronologically. So now it is your task to give us your highlights and the reflections of what you can tell us about 1983 up to 2005. You're welcome.
Thank you, Comrade David, and thank you, Comrade Peter Lual, for organizing this. I guess it's really an important day because it's the day that we remember our heroes, those who sacrificed their precious life. It's also the day we remember those, even those who are not in uniform, whether in the village, inside the enemy territories, in a diaspora, wherever they are. South Sudanese fought a war that led to the independence of South Sudan. That cannot be denied. We have to acknowledge that. Otherwise, God will also acknowledge the contribution made by every South Sudanese, wherever they are, to fight for the independence, but for the liberation of the most disadvantaged people or marginalized people of Sudan, as we used to call it. We know that the history of our liberation, how it started in 1983 to 2005, when the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed. I know a lot of people will understand what it is, but what we are doing is just a reflection and to also remind ourselves of how far we have come, the journey, and how many lives were lost in between until that day that led to the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. I know when the war erupted in 1983, I was still a very young boy, and I remember in I think in 1984, when again we were very young, when Katiba Twek arrived in our area where I was, and they came with this Kalanchinkov. It was really impressive for us as youngsters. So I used to, with other young boys, we used to design wood as guns, as Kalanchinkov, and we ran around with them, proudly put on our backs and so forth. But what happened along the way was something that all of us, those who have been to the enemy territory or to the town where the then government of Sudan, NIF, as we call them, National Islamic Front, in Wow, for instance. What I have seen in Wow while I was a very young boy, going there with my mom to go and come back with dad, what I have witnessed was horrific. So when I came home very young, I keep saying to my parents and others that I will go and get myself a gun, because this is too much the way our people are treated. You can see the bitterness that a young person can internalize at that age and time because of what was happening and what other adults can also see very bitter and didn't like. So when it came 1987, that is when I went to Ethiopia and remained there until 1990s when Ethiopia crisis erupted. I know that we were privileged enough more than any other Judge Alamir or Red Army by then, because despite the training that was given, the military training, John Grant made an order that these youngsters shouldn't go and fight. They should remain in school. They're too young. We are fighting this war, but if we liberate South Sudan tomorrow or Sudan tomorrow, you, this generation, are going to be the one that will, develop and build that nation. You are the seed of tomorrow, and us as Jej Al Aswad, we have to fight and liberate this for our children to come. There is no country that can be built without proper education, and we all can go and fight, but if we liberate it, we're not going to be able to build that country. So most of us, very young and bitter, didn't like that, but we didn't have choice. We were ordered and protected not to escape from where we were confined, as many other Jej Alamer. So and so most of us end up back in Sudan and then end up in abroad as I am speaking. But many youngsters that I know that I was with, some of them are in army, some of them are doing something else, some of them have perished in the war, and so forth. So many lives that were lost were too many, and many people knows the number that is being projected, which we don't have much control over it because there was no way we would know exactly how many people might have lost their life during the process of liberation struggle. So we know that what happened during along this liberation struggle, there were a lot of issues within among South Sudanese that lead to a lot of faction, that led to SPLM, SPLA getting divided in 1990s after that crisis of Ethiopia, and get weakened by the enemies, and they were kind of saying that time. I remember I was in Eastern Equatoria in 1990s when they used to say that the SPLA, SPLM has been defeated, and we just kind of clearing the remnants of the remain, especially after they captured Capoeira, where I lived for a while before I moved to another place within around Eastern Equatoria. So it was a disaster, it was a setback, and I guess the reason why I mentioned that as South Sudanese, we need to learn from our histories. We need to learn from our setback so that we can reach the goals, the reason why we fought for that country. When it reached to the negotiation went on in early 2000 until the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in 2005. By then, I went to New Zealand in early 2000, and but I went back in 2004, in December 2004, and as someone who was involved in the SPLM leadership, I was kind of wanting to proceed home, but the SPLM base in Nairobi, they asked me to stay and wait for the Comprehensive Peace Agreement to be signed, so that when I come back to our people, our SPLM members in diaspora, I can explain to them what I have witnessed. So I have waited for the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. It was signed in my presence before I went back to New Zealand. So it was a milestone, and it was really something. I took some videos myself. It was something that many of us didn't anticipate, especially most of us who went to the bush at a very young age. And I know I've been asked to talk about only between that time, 83 to 2005. But I guess what it is, what I will just add to finish is that, those who look back and move forward are those who can do something effective for themselves and for the future of generation to come. South Sudan need commitment, need open heart, need people to kind of really have that that heart of wanting to do something for others, not for yourself. And if we do that, if we all can do that, I'm sure that country wouldn't take long. Because I always say jokingly to some of my friends and comrades that with this Western development, it didn't just fall from the sky. It was people. The people committed themselves and build this amazing place to be where people can live and have a better security and everything else that is needed. So the commitment that we need is when we are able to look back, see how many lives have been sacrificed, the contribution made by so many people, including friends, South Sudan, and then said, well, if this is the life that we lost, if I'm still alive, I can do something so that the next generation can say, yep, Santino have done this, and he left it behind for us, because we know that nobody can live in this world forever. Therefore, it's really important we do something good for ourselves, for our country, and for the next generation to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Santino, and I thank you for these personal reflections and general reflections on what happened throughout this time. Indeed, South Sudanese should really be asking themselves, what role has individuals played in bringing up our country? And what role can we play in making it a better country in the world? Thank you. And I understand you mentioned that you were about to go somewhere, but I would suggest if you can also stay around for some few minutes so that in case some people have got some questions or some people have got some clarifications, or if there is some other things that you can also jump to rescue while we continue with the program. I thank
For
you once
sure.
again.
For sure, if there is any question, I'm happy to, because most of the time we like to, when you are given platform to talk about anything, you don't know
Yes.
what to talk about and what to leave. So
Okay.
we might be young, but we have good knowledge or inside knowledge of our operation and the way
Thank
forward.
you.
I
That's
got a
good.
question
Yeah, Mr. Peter Lol.
for Dr. Santi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Santino. The question is, South Sudan has been going through many wars until now. As a psychologist, what impact do you think that the war have had in our way of doing things today, and what can we do to solve those issues? Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. It's a good question. I think we live in this country, as you can tell. Um, we have some soldiers that go and serve overseas, let's say in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Gulf War, Vietnam War. Those who came back, majority of them struggle with trauma. The reason why I start with that is war is not easy, and especially when you are a soldier, you are trained to either kill or be killed. And most of the time, most of the soldiers would witness a lot of things. As human, we don't have the same level of resilience. We don't have the same level of coping mechanism. So what happened is some people would be devastated by witnessing whether they, did something horrible to somebody else for self-defense or whatever it is, that still haunt them. It become a trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm not generalizing, but I'm sure a lot of our people, especially those who sacrificed their lives so much and still alive today, whether still active in army or not active, majority of them must be impacted by trauma of war. Um, Also, when we talk of trauma of war, if you know that your comrade has been killed or died in action or died in other circumstances, that does affect you as human being. Human beings are resilient to a certain extent. I know that counseling is not something that is really ingrained in our society, and people don't really understand the importance of counseling. But I believe trauma counseling can really help heal our country, our community, and especially those who are impacted by the previous war and the current war. The coming to the present, the impact it has on this current generation is tremendous, because the current generation we have are, I can say that most of us grew in war, but we were lucky enough to come somewhere and able to heal ourselves, get some training, and to be able to help others as a counselor and educator and trainer. But some people didn't have that opportunity to be able to get some kind of healings and to be able to overcome the trauma and so forth. There are generations that are born in this current situation that South Sudan is in. This generation don't know anything else. And when you are exposed to something, that is the only thing that you know until you given other opportunity to see something else. So what we need in our society as well is actually psychoeducation. We need to train people to change that mentality of war, mentality of revenge, mentality of kind of treating fight as something exciting or something that people want to rush into. It's something that need to change. It because majority of the generation we have been exposed to that, and to change that to be a non-violent society. I'm not saying our society is violent, but when it comes to politics, we know how it flare up and how it blow up the country out of proportion. We need to teach our people to change that. We also need to teach them to think for themselves. You don't need to follow up. You don't need to follow somebody. Politicians that might have different ideas and agenda. And sometimes some politicians are selfish. They just, either because of self gratification, they want to promote themselves. They, whatever pride they have, or they want to enrich themselves, they will drag along some other members of their community with them. This has to change so that a country, when you elect somebody, you don't elect that somebody because that person is from your tribe or from my community. You just elect that person because it's going to do some development. They have to lay down that I'm going to build the road, I'm going to build this, I'm going to improve the security, and those promises, as you know, the democracy here, you have to hold them accountable later on. So psychoeducation to teach young people that working hard can actually earn you your own living. South Sudan is so vast. We live in this country. It's really hard to get a land. It's very expensive. But in South Sudan, you can get it free of charge. If people have that ability to be able to farm, to be able to do other productive things, they can help the country. There is need for young people to be trained to do some simple stuff, technical stuff like building, carpentry, and employ them. The labor is very cheap. Money can make themselves.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of opportunities that can change this generation. Only way to heal people is to be able to make them productive, to be able to shift the thinking that you can't only focus that the government will be the only that will provide job. The government also need to teach people, conduct research, and teach people to be productive, because majority of the people don't know how to be productive, and you need to be trained so that you can do that. Sorry for the long answer.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you very much for that. And actually, it is always good to have a narrative kind of response, because it gives proper insights to really what is required and what has been asked for. Thank you, Dr. Santino, for this lengthy answer, and I appreciate that. Yes, Luan, is there another question?
No, I don't have another question. I have been asked by uh, Byung. Byung is on the process of joining and other speakers. So
Okay.
David Tanya have asked me also to play some song. If
Okay.
you don't mind, while we're waiting for other speakers,
Okay.
Dr. Fatima,
Before you
thank
go to the
you.
song, let me ask you
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Is Comrade Samuel Lueth online?
Haven't seen him. They should have joined, and
What
have,
about Comrade Friday? Friday Awo?
he is online, but he hasn't joined. So I have David time to inform.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a piece of music and then we start from there.
Okay.
Okay. Peter, thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
So
we have
is
been
Comrade
joined by Byung now. So welcome, Byung. So I know we apologize for any inconvenience, but you're welcome, David. Now we have Byung in the room.
uh
Good.
Comrade Byung Deng Byung?
Yes, Comrade
Thank you
David,
very
how are
much.
you?
I'm glad to see your face once again after many months.
I wish I could
And
see your face too, but I
you
can
don't
hear
see
your
me.
voice.
Oh, that sounds very great and very bad. And as a member of the SPLM Chapter Australia Advisory Committee, you are
Yes.
invited to give us your reflections on the role of the Red Army and the women during the 21 years of the struggle. And you have got 10 minutes to do that. I just want to
Uh,
take this opportunity to welcome you. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Comrade David and Comrade Peter, and my chair, Teng, for organizing today gathering. It's a very important day for all of us who are still alive to acknowledge what has been done in the past by our martyrs, or we call them heroes, who were our brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles, and all. They were our friends too. So organizing this day is very good. I thanks everybody, in particular Peter. He has been out there uh, helping out the community to keep the history alive. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Comrade Teng again. To go into my presentation today, I would like to salute all the fallen heroes, uh, in particular Jesh Amar and women. And I would like to mention one person. Uh, I have a brother called Kwal. Kwal is my uncle, but I call him brother because we were almost the same age. I remember us playing as kids, and we went apart when we joined the struggle as kids. Him, he decided to take arm and went to the front line. I met him the day he was killed. Uh, we met, and then he left. He was killed the same day. I remember him. And for that, I remember all the fallen young heroes, whether they died in front line or during our journey. All our mothers, remembering one mother who uh, was killed just when we were leaving Katipo, and we found her lying down with two children sitting, uh, just watching her and crying. We had to try to take those kids away. The mom was trying to take those children to safety. Those children now they are contributing to South Sudan, I'm sure. So it's an important day that we don't have to miss. And as David mentioned before, it's unfortunate that we celebrate it this way, but it's still, we can still share our stories and we can still uh, remember them in this way. Going into continuing, I just want to mention a little bit about my journey. As a Jeshamer, I was one of the privileged one who left home with my dad, and among us, we were around 800 kids. Uh, um, few of us would have been the privileged one, especially my brothers and myself. But that did not last long. When we arrived in Madingbor, just before, after it was captured, my dad left us, and we became the mainstream Jeshamer, doing it the hard way as the rest. We were the one. Uh, somebody's
Samuel Loyce, please unmute yourself so that you don't know it's coming from there.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just on my preparing myself.
Okay. Are you driving?
I'm just going to the car.
brother Samuel. I might give you platform so that you can.
Are you seeing me,
Okay.
guys?
Yeah, you
Yeah, we
settle
can
down
see
first. You
you
settle. You settle.
and we can hear you.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
Are you settled
Yeah.
now?
So if
Yeah,
you mute yourself will be good so I can finish what I'm saying.
no problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. So we managed to. We just came shortly after Torit was Madimbor was captured. So we Jaisamar were deployed to clean it, and we did a lot of uh, hard work to make sure that the town was livable. Uh, from there, we began to leave without my dad. My dad has to join the struggle. My dad, just to mention a little bit about him, he's one of the revolutionaries, and I could actually call him the father of South Sudan because before the Tory mutiny, he was already engaged in a BA with our brothers in the northern regime. He started as Jay Shamar as well. And if you remember the story of Abiy, he would be one of the first people that uh, took arm against Khartoum. So Dr. Joe remember him in the Anyanya one as well, and then later joined the SPLA as well. He recently passed away in 2017 in Kenya. So he joined the SPLM political cadet, and
Oh, no.
we
Let
became.
you forget it. It's okay now. Okay.
So to cut story short, we went to Ethiopia. I went. I'm one of the people who went to three camps. I went to Demo, uh, Itang, and Panyudo, and I've become close friends with many of Jesh Hammer, and came back to South Sudan. Went through all the struggle that most Jesh Hammer went through. Luckily, those who crossed into Kenya escaped few, but some of us were left there for some time. Uh, Yes, Hammer were, as Dr. John mentioned, they were the seats. Some of us went voluntarily for safety and education, but the intention of the Garang was to make sure that these children survive and they grow to become what South Sudan is today. Uh, Most of them who took arm at very young age chose to, but some who grew up who were older enough to join were used in the army as well. Women became the main carer for the Jeshhammer, for the kids. They keep families together. They were morals for those who were in front line, and they raised the kids that are there today in South Sudan. Because if all of us who went to the bush did not reproduce, then everything would have ended there. There were women also in the front line who were doing the same job, carrying, uh, cooking, and all this. I would have preferred women to speak for themselves, but I found this topic was stuck under my things that I want to cover. But I've been with them. I've seen what they have done. The younger kids that were in Jeshhammer, they were kept alive by these mothers. So I will say Jay Sharma and women, as Garang predicted, were the seats, and they are now what is South Sudan. Majority of South Sudan. David, have I run out of time? Ma- Majority of South Sudanese now are made of Jay Sharma and kids that were born in the bush. So if for it's all attributed to the women and to Dr. John's idea of taking kids and keeping them safe for the future. This did not just start with the SPLA, it started even during colonization. Young kids were used in so many ways, and they were put in reserve. The SPLA pick up from that and grew a base that become uh, very powerful in terms of education as well. Most Jeshamar are educated, and they are helping back at home now and wherever they are. And in terms of manpower as well, their contribution is visible. So I would like to stop here, but I would like to acknowledge and thank the SPLM chapter Victoria for putting this together, and also congratulations to all South Sudanese for at least having a country where you become the first citizen in it. With our shortcoming, I'm still happy that we are here, and I thank all our fallen heroes for this. My father-in-law, Maduring, being one of them, I would like to salute him as well. So I will stop here. If there is any question, I'll take them.
Thank you, Comrade Byung, for that. I really I appreciate your personal reflection, especially of that woman who died just near or in front of her children. This indicates how South Sudanese suffered throughout the struggles. Let me put it with S, because there were so many, and how miserable some people left their lives. It wasn't their choice, but the condition dictated that for them to be what they happened. Indeed, during these times and during this time of commemoration, we value the individuals who perished for this country. Without them, we could not have something called South Sudan, or something we could be proud of. But we have also an obligation whereby, can we think of, if some people sacrifice their own lives, what have we who are still alive, what should we do to make it better?
Mm.
So these are questions which I throw to each individual, each South Sudanese, to answer for themselves. If there is any question for Comrade Byung, please can that be brought up so that we can have a response? Moderator, are you there?
There, thank you so much. Welcome, Honorable West, and thanks, Byung Deng Byung, for great presentation.
Thank you, young man. Thank
Okay.
you for this.
I
Comrade
Okay,
Samuel
let's
Lueth.
question. Now we have the Lost Boys, and the Lost Boys give birth to their children. How are we going to call those children? The
So
reason
this
is
is,
that.
is for Byung to answer.
yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
Byung to answer yeah.
Okay.
uh,
That's
it is really, it's
I,
really very disturbing sometimes. Like, Luez knows he was one of the senior officers in Kakuma, and Kakuma has been inhabited for over 28 years. Children who grew up in Kenya, some are in America, some are in Canada, and children of the Lost Boys in particular, who don't know much about South Sudan. How are we going to call them?
Yeah. Can I just answer that?
uh, I will quickly answer so I can leave
All right.
for another meeting, and then where you can add. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a good question, brother Peter. We, the Jeshamar, who are now uncles of, some of us are actually grandfathers, uh, have a lot that has that we have given to South Sudan, including those children that you are mentioning. What has stuck with us is this word Jeshamar, which we cannot get rid of, and we are proud of as well. But the misuse of the term sometimes could keep us a little bit as children, as and then we wonder what our children will be called. So the Jesh Hammer now remain as our identity. It's not who we are anymore. The Jesh Hammer, as used before, was to mean children, but these children now that are ours are children, like any other children in the world, and that's what we fought for. So that they can live as children, uh, not as we have lived without toys, without safety, without food, without parents. These children, we want them to live with their parent, even if they are in the camp. They are at safety. They would get something to eat, and they would get support that they need. So, to answer your question, short, brother Peter, let's call them children. Thank you.
Okay.
I will leave now.
The reason is this: we are Lost Boys. But how shall we ensure that these children knows the history of South Sudan?
Yeah. Luan can answer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, uh, and that's the importance of this day. So when the party said this day to be celebrated, which is a day of to remember or to celebrate the life of those or martyrs or those who lost their life for the independence, is your role, is my role. It is a role for those who have not died. Is for us to tell the stories to how far we came from and how the importance of these days. So for them to know is to tell the stories of the struggle and why it is important for us to celebrate today. So there are kids who are born by the Lost Boys, but again they cannot be called the Lost Boys because they are now part of the struggle. When they were in Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, they were just kept there purposely. So they are there to be the new generation which can come and contribute when we attain the independence. And again, they are kept there in case if we need it to support or to help, like when we were cornered into the corner of Ethiopia, or when we were pushed back into the corner of the other countries, all the Red Army were brought in to come and save the movement. So without them, we would have not saved the country. We would have been flushed out of the Sudan, and there would be no any country called South Sudan today. So they were there as a German, but they got a purpose. So they cannot be called today as a German. They are part of the struggle. They are children of those who are alive, and they are children of those who lost their life, and they were just put there for education purpose.
Okay. Thank you very much, Samuel, for that. It was actually coming to be your time to reflect on uh, general issues, let me say, because you are the member of SPLM Chapter Australia Advisory Committee. And then, yes, it's good that you have answered this question also. And let me now invite you for your own time. And you have got 10 minutes to give your reflections on this day. You're welcome.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. First of all, I would like to thank the all viewers and those who set this day as a day for our heroes and heroines who sacrificed their life for the attainment of this country where we call South Sudan today. Uh, yes, I'm just put there by the David to back you up because we are given a task of to reflect on the achievement that after the independence of from 2005 up to date, what are the challenges that the country has gone through or what the achievement. So I thought we'll just focus on why this day is important for us and what are the issues our country are facing today. So for me, David, I think I have got that opportunity to be outside the country, and I think those who are left in the country, they are doing their best despite all the challenges after the independence, where there was civil war erupted, where our people are going through challenges where there's no any development going, and all this could be counted as a part of that we, the South Sudanese, or those who struggle, have not put together our mind to look into the future of unborn children, which we fought for. So what I'm saying here is to remind ourselves that the war or the liberations that give us this independent day should not end in vain. We struggle for unborn child to be free and to get services. So as people who are in diaspora, we might not have much about what is going on. We only hear of what is going on in South Sudan, but we don't have more detail of what has happened. Our role is to encourage and support our movement or our people to make sure that the country should not left in disarray, should not left to continue the way it is, and we have individual role as other speakers mentioned before. As the people who are in diaspora, we need to have some kind of productive ideas than destructive ideas. So we need also to see that party or the parties leading that country as a party that led to the independence of this country is in the state of giving some sort of destruction to the party or to desert the party to say this party is not a good party anymore. So I'm not going to have much. We have so many challenges, and these challenges we need to forgive ourselves as the people of South Sudan, as the people who fought together as one nation to be able to purpose in this country is a forgiveness and think on how best we can help our country to move forward. So we all acknowledge that without coming together, we cannot succeed. Our country will not have any step forward. But if we forgive ourselves and join our hand, we'll be able to achieve anything. Because war is a destruction. War will not bring peace. I mean, war will not bring development. War will make us discarded to all around the country, like neighboring countries and diaspora. And we don't want that. We want to go back. So when we have peace, we'll be able to go back to our country. So I wouldn't have no much to say about it because we are not inside South Sudan to see what is going on there. But our role is to support the country and encourage them to live in peace as people who fought for one purpose. Thanks, David.
Uh, Thank you, Comrade Samuel Lewis. I do understand that you were supposed to back me up, but what happened was that when things changed, whereby I I became the I become the
The moderator.
facilitator,
Yeah,
and then
or facilitator.
I couldn't jump to speak before other people. I thought
All right.
that let me give this chance to you first, which is good. You have done a very great job for that, and thank you very much for the reflections done and really the way you look at what we should have done better
Yeah.
for the best of our children. Okay, so that really the dreams and the lives of those people who were sent for this country could not go without
In vain.
any prosperity that they hoped for. So therefore, it is good that you have mentioned that. And let me also ask Loyal, if Comrade Friday is there, or and if he's there, and then let him also inform Comrade David Korkechi. If you are there, you get ready for your remarks, and also Comrade Tang, you will also be given some few minutes to say some winding words. And if Comrade Mading is also there as the chairperson of the chapter in Victoria, I would also love to see that you say something. Can you confirm for me, Loal, can you confirm if who is there and who's not there from the people I mentioned? Thank you.
Um, David Tang is working on the ground. I think we shall be joined soon by Friday and a few other speakers. So, David Tang, please let the speakers join us.
Okay.
Um, Samuel, thank you very much for the reflections. The reason why I have such question is that we need to educate our children on the history and the
Yes.
importance of their history.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't know South Sudan, those who grew up in Australia will not even go back to South Sudan.
That's true. Yeah.
They don't know about the contribution made by their parents. They will also think that they are foreign in that country. So it
Mm.
is important for individual to teach a child about the liberation
The
struggle
importance of this, yes. Mm.
and even your contribution as a parent.
Yeah.
Because if my child happen today to be in South Sudan, maybe someone would say, "Oh, Peter left for Australia a few years ago. He never did anything for this nation." Then maybe a child would think, "Oh, he will remain submissive." So we have a big role to play.
Yeah.
Um,
Look,
I don't
Lual, I think
have my
so.
question, but
Sorry to
uh,
go back, Lual.
yeah,
David. I think when I mentioned that this day is important because it's a day to tell the stories to our children. For those who do not know why these days is put aside or is created by the party to be celebrated. There are those who die and they cannot be remembered. But if they are to be remembered, their children also will know the contribution of their fathers, and also those who had lost their friend, because this struggle, it was not started in 83 or in 1955. It was started before that. So we got all the heroes and heroines who fought before the two movements, and they have to be acknowledged, because if they are not acknowledged, then they would then die in vain, and nobody, no, our children will not know what is the matter days. The matter days is to reflect for those who lost their life, who sacrificed their life for attainment of this country. I did not mention when I didn't just go join the Red Army. I went to Bonga. I was trained as a soldier, as a young soldier. I fought in my first battle between Malwal Gaos and Joko, and I lost my friend there. It's called Malwal Luet. That was the first time I fought. So I know this day is important to be celebrated so that our young children or unborn children can know and to continue with this day. That's why I said it's important to have this day, and we have to be proud of those who lost their life or those who sacrificed their life for the independence of this country.
Okay. Thank you, Comrade Lewis. Comrade Peter Talwal, thank you very much for showing
Yes.
us these books. These are very important things. We will be liking to read them. If you can send me some links, that would be so great. I think let me take my chance to give personal reflections on what happened from 2011 to the present time. Some people are saying that they're not seeing me. I don't know what's happening. But I don't know
Yeah,
whether
we are
I'm
not seeing
animated.
you. your picture, your picture cannot be seen anyway.
Mr. Lwal, what's happening? I'm not visible.
I think because you're using the computer, I think that could be what isn't.
No, I'm using an iPad.
Okay, then try to put the maybe I don't know.
I'm afraid if I keep touching things, then I may go offline.
You may disappear.
As
You
it
may
happens.
lost.
Anyway, what I wanted to say here is I will break my reflections into two. I wanted to focus on us here in Victoria or in Australia, and then later on I will touch some few points when I was in South Sudan recently. You see, when I moved here, when I migrated to Australia in 2000, the number of people from South Sudan was very small, very, very small. And then at a party level, members of SPLM were very, very few. At a social level, what I could see was that South Sudanese, regardless of which party or which group or whether you don't belong to any party, were united. Everybody was just as South Sudanese, Australians. We didn't have any differences. We attended events together, whether good events or bad events, and the community was really very united. And then the first thing I did with some few individuals was to ask what is happening with the SPLM party here in Victoria. And I'm very glad to let everyone know that with some individuals, I don't want to mention their names because I'm not asking them whether they should allow me to ask their names or not. We managed to establish an SPLM branch here in Victoria, which was there before, but it wasn't visible. I just have to make this very clear. With the few individuals, we had a first meeting, I think, around 2001 at Williamstown. There was a small pub. We went and had a first meeting there. And the rest of the meetings were either conducted in my house, Springville. And those who were involved, they knew what happened and how we went very vigorously. And we were able to conduct the first SPLM organized office as early as 2003 or 2004. I cannot reflect very much. So the unity among South Sudanese by then was really very great. And a typical example of it was when we headed for the referendum. There wasn't any question of whether you belong to someone else or you don't belong to someone else, but the question was only, we need our South Sudan. That was it. And everybody went wholeheartedly to vote for the country. Melbourne, being the base, had almost 4,004 or 4,000 something numbers. People came from different states, those who could not have voting facilities in their states, to come here. So that spirit was really very great and demonstrated when we conducted our first historical celebration here in Victoria. It was attended by thousands of people. And then after 2011, when people already achieved their country, for what reason we started seeing a disintegration in our community. The South Sudanese community, which was by then the Sudanese community, started shaking a little bit, right from leadership and then to the community. And then the emergency or the emerging trend of community groups became more stronger than what people could actually look at it as an umbrella uh, association which brings us together. These were some signs now showing that we were no longer getting more closer to each other or getting more uh, loyal to one association. All of us could see that. And it also started affecting the SPLM party too. And then, not very far from there, the events which took place in our country, 2013, where unfortunately we went into war, and then there were a lot of divisions among us as South Sudanese. People started looking at who do you belong to and who are you loyal to in terms of politics, in terms of individuals, and in terms of the way we look at things. So the unity among South Sudanese became so questionable immediately after 2013 events that took place at our country. We cannot deny that. It happened here in Victoria. I cannot speak of what happens in other states. And then at the SPLM level, when Comrade Mariano was given that position of going to work in the South Sudan, the replacement was not well coordinated. We do understand that somebody was appointed and they was supposed to take over from Mariano. But how far that appointment was really drilled into the hearts of the SPLM party members was a questionable thing. And then from there, that immediately showed that now the umbrella leadership of the SPLM in the whole of Australia was, to
Hello,
me,
Luan.
already a vacuum. It wasn't there. It
Hello.
was already a vacuum.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
So,
David has lost here.
oh, really?
Oh, I can hear him.
No, I don't hear him. So would be a problem for me.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can hear him. It's very clear.
Can others
But
hear me?
I'm not. So
Okay.
could you check?
Okay. Yeah. Try to refresh and come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
others can hear me. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Some will, try again. So that means after Comrade Mariano went to the South Sudan, and then there was definitely a very big vacuum. And even though someone was appointed to replace, but to me, it was not well coordinated. I have to make it very clear. And then again, during the crisis, which started in 2013, communication between our government from Juba to the diaspora was already not very, very much connected. I think people may have lost me already online. Hello? Hello?
Yeah. There. We can
I
hear
think
you.
something's, can you hear me?
Yes. You're clear.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, and then another factor also, which led to some of the other problems that we experience, especially in Victoria, is the divisions or the division, or let me say, the problems faced by the South Sudanese community, which could not bring everybody together. Instead, you find people operating parallel to others or people operating individually. You don't know who's doing what and what is being done by who. So again, this affected many, many, many things in the community, especially the SPLM as a party. You find there are a lot of issues. People decided to look into more community, more which part of South Sudan you come from, to say on tribal basis now. This is something which is very sad, and we need to correct that. Some people may be angry for that, but this is the reality. the spirit of togetherness has been lost. We have to make it very clear here in Victoria and maybe also in other parts of Australia. Well, this is, of course, a long story. We can't dwell on it very much. Again, I, I left Australia and then I went back to South Sudan. From 2013 up to 2007, I was there. And early 2008 also, I was there. Indeed, we could see that there is some progress. But because of the problems which started in 2013, to me, some individuals never knew why they fought for 21 years. We decided, or some individuals decided to think of what is best for themselves, but not what is the best for the people. And this has been actually acknowledged by many, many politicians in South Sudan, that some people did it differently other than doing it for the best interest of the community or for the best people, or for the best interest of the people they struggled for. As a result, you can see that up to now, still, we have some issues. Okay? There's a lot of conflicts, intercommunal conflicts are still there. Political wrangling is still there. But as time goes, to me, South Sudanese believe that their country belongs to them and they will settle all these issues. We will one day hear no guns in any part of South Sudan. And if we can only work together as South Sudanese to see that where are we heading as a country, and then we will achieve our dreams. So I don't want to dwell on that very much. Some people may have hinted on that. But let us try to reflect on what good can we do for the future of our country. How would we want to see the South Sudan in 50 years to come? These are the things that we need to be looking at. And this kind of questions should not be asked only by one person. It needs a collective ideas. It needs contributions from many people to shape the country so that we don't go back to where we were some few years back. Yes, mistakes happen, but what can we learn from these mistakes? Thank you very much. Lual, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm there, David. David.
Yes.
Hello, David. Yep. Okay, we have been joined by Samuel Rueb. Yeah,
Thanks.
that's very good. Thanks, Samuel.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much. My question to you, you have really identified the issues affecting our national fabrics. And to me, what could be done in, I was having a conversation with one of my friends who is a scientist, and they have started like planning and thinking about what would happen in 80 years from now to be fit.
Yeah.
80
Yeah.
years. So your question is really, something very important for each an individual to reflect on. To me, what would be the best thing to do is for us to rise beyond tribal boundaries and to work together, support someone because of the objective, not for your benefit, but for the benefit of other people, because we cannot afford to continue living in the refugees camp for over 28 years. By next year, it will be 29. And also life being lost, no developments. Our country, it's very green, it's very fertile. Uh, it's very, like it could be a food basket for Africa. So if we can forgive ourselves unconditionally and leave whatever happened behind, I think we shall make South Sudan a great nation, like many other countries. So, but it has to start from here. When the crisis of 2013 began, I think we in Victoria, something which was also witnessed by those of Dr. Santino, uh, me and Tim Costello managed to contact some of the leaders in the community to advocate for a relief and promote peace among themselves.
You won't go where?
But things were
Okay.
really tense by that time.
Let Mama speak.
So what the diaspora should be doing is to advocate for peace and development rather than discussing issues which can trigger or divide people back home. Uh, so I think I will stop from there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Peter Lal, for that. To me, actually, there is a lot that we can do from diaspora, and I would encourage people to visit South Sudan also. If things come better, let's say if restrictions are no longer there with the corona. And it is true, many South Sudanese do go for holidays, and there's so many. And if really everybody can get their time, go with the children, come back, whichever way you want to make it, it will be always very good. Because this way, the people at home have got a sense and a feeling that in diaspora, we are together with them. Okay? We are together with them, and we share all the problems that they are facing together. And then secondly, it also gives an impression that people who read from the newspapers or from the local social media and so on about negative things most of the time. You see, about the South. It's portrayed negatively. But if you happen to visit, if you happen to see things for yourself, by yourself, at least you will have a different mindset. So I still ask those people who write a lot of disturbing messages about their own country or trying to tear it apart for their own benefits and whatever it benefits whoever. I would rather say, instead of portraying negativity all the time, yes, let's also be able to acknowledge some positivities. This way, we will find ourselves in the right picture. Okay, it doesn't mean that if I've got a problem with somebody or I've got differences with someone else, and then I hate my country. My country is my country. Okay, individuals are individuals. Individuals will come and go, but the country will remain. South Sudan will remain. So there is no point of people really hating their country because of some individuals or because somebody has done something wrong. This way, this is not taking us somewhere. Thank you. Are you there?
Yeah, I don't know what would happen. Some of the speakers were supposed to join, but due to some reason, they're not joining. So what can we do?
Okay. What we can do is, if Comrade David Tang is there, he will wind up. If Comrade David Kokchesi, is he there?
I haven't seen him, but David Tang is online. So David Tang, can you please join us?
Sorry for talking. Is Comrade Mading Malak there?
I haven't seen him.
Okay. I think we can wind up this program, and then I will later on invite Comrade David Tang to give us a winding up message. And then to myself, I would really appreciate, and I've appreciated all those who contributed, especially our guest speakers who were able to make their time. And let me also say a personal thank you to Comrade Peter Luan for organizing this under your facility. And please, I hope that we will be doing a lot of other things together. I haven't interacted with you personally yet, but one day we will get time to to talk more about what we do and what we want to do together. Comrade David Tay, who's the chairperson of SPLM in Australia, you are more than welcome. Are you on?
Yeah, David.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
David, how are you?
I'm okay. And you?
Is Peter Lual there? Or?
He
Yes,
should be.
yeah.
Okay. I think it has been a long day.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome.
My
Thank you so much.
apology. Yeah, my apology to to you, Comrade David Taban, and also the host, Comrade Peter Lual. We made. I can see Samuel as well.
Yeah, I'm struggle. I'm struggling, but yeah, I'm always off and on.
Yeah.
I don't know what has happened.
I first of all I would like to thanks all of you, the former speakers who spoke before me, and I was actually watching the show from the start to. We are almost to the end of the show, and I also want at least to apologize on the behalf of the speakers who could not make it to be with us today because of their own commitment. Some of the comrade was struggling to log in, following the link that was sent previously by comrade, by brother Lual, Peter Lual. So it was a great day, and I really thanks all of you for your reflections. I thanks all the comrades who are watching live, who are streaming live, and who are actually also celebrating this very important day in their, their own places. We know, as it was mentioned earlier by one of the speaker, that if it was not because of this pandemic, we could have actually, have a very colorful celebration where we can actually have dances and then reflections, physical reflections, also stories and a lot of things. But with this situation that we are in now, as we all know that we are actually through a very turbulent times where we are all locked. That's the reason we are actually celebrating this very important day online. I mean, live, stream live on the social media. So thank you so much, Comrade David, for taking us through the program. I also thanks you for your reflection. I thanks Dr. William Mabur for his reflections, and also I want thanks Dr. Santino, and I thank you, Comrade Samuel, and also Comrade Byung. So it was actually a very, very, very emotional hearing, his stories, personal stories, like what was actually told by Comrade Byung, trying at least, to set himself and the other Jesh Amar, who are actually colleagues and brothers, as an example of where we come from and where we are now. Unfortunately, it looked like the whole history was cut short because of the absence of the people who were given, the reflection from where we actually when we start our where
Oh
the
yeah.
liberation is started. If you date it back, it was not actually from 55 when we have this Torid mutiny. It was not also 83. The journey started back.
Before
You
that.
date it back in 1820. Is when repeatedly you will see South Sudan has been mentioned repeatedly, in the history of the liberation until we come to 72, and then also to 83, which actually resulted to the birth of the country. So it's all it's a very long story. It's a very long story. I will not go back, to narrate it again. But I would love us, if God will, we will have at least, kind of conference, kind of, a forum where this history will be narrated more, so that a lot of children or people who are born between even not only between 83, we talk about J. Ahmed, and
Mm.
then until 2011. But those who were born, from 2011, I mean, from 2012 to present, they're still South Sudanese. They need to know. They need to know our history, the journey, and how far we come to where we are now. So very much. I would like to thank all of you. Peter Lual, I think we may have no more speakers to join us. I've received some few messages from other comrades. Comrade Friday will go to work in a short while, and also Comrade David Quill is engaged with other commitment. Comrade James Mangar is also working, and then I think he's not going to make it. And then we have few comrades. As early you mentioned also the apology of our veteran, Comrade Atem Yak, who he passed on his apology, and it was unfortunate that I did not, because I did not come alive to let all of you know that he apologized, and he sent his. He said that I will revisit the program later, and then you guys go ahead, and he couldn't make it because of the sudden, the dismay, the sudden death of our Comrade General Samuel, who passed on a few days ago. And also, we want to send our thoughts and our prayers to the entire community, Boer community, and the entire Indian community for the loss of this hero who just passed away. And our prayers to the family. May God raise his precious souls in peace. We also want to send our also prayers and our heartfelt felt condolences to the family of Dr. Bishop and to the entire Nuer community who are watching, or maybe they are not watching, and wherever they are, for the loss of our sister, beloved mother, and also the wife who also passed away, and the entire community of Nuer is also mourning our demise. So very much. I will not take long, and I will just once again thanks the entire membership of SPLM in Australia and in different states for your support, and I believe with the unity, or with united heart, we will be able to bring a permanent peace among ourselves, and also to our nation as the ruling party. So, greeting from the Nino Secretariat, the Comrade Bulmakweng, who will at least, maybe when we finish, maybe he will actually on his own time watch the show again, and see what we are trying in our level best as a chapter here in Australia. So he has, he sent his greetings. They celebrated yesterday, I mean on Thursday, they commemorated the 30th of July as well, in a very small group, because we know at the moment, the pandemic is there, or globally is everywhere. So he's greeting all of us. He's sending his greeting and his gratitude, and he's thanking us for what we are doing. So I will stop here, and I will also, thank you, Comrade Lual, and the Africa World Books for hosting us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwan.
Okay.
You're all welcome. And feel free. I don't deserve any thanks, because we are all obligated to serve our nation in one way or another. And thanks for keeping the candle burning, because it is our responsibility in Dinka said, "Rich Ben Gujil." I don't know in other language, but the generation
Uh,
come and
it
Unless
goes.
you unless you say it, unless if you say it in English, we can translate it in other language.
now,
Yeah,
Okay.
now, I'm going to
generation
be
came and
The
goes.
generation comes and goes. Yeah, I
Yes.
understand.
I'm going to be fluent in Luer now. Like this is a dictionary
Oh,
by
okay.
the late Luol Chang, and
Oh, yeah.
I will be speaking actually as well.
Actually,
That's good.
Uh,
that's very good.
It was
What
great
about
having
Barry?
you, and please feel free anytime to come back. And also, even it is good if we can talk about coronavirus in the future. I
Yeah,
apologize for
yeah.
any inconvenience that the technicalities might have caused from the starting, but also sometimes any shows, uh, you know, most of the shows that those that discuss national agendas sometimes are poorly attended, which is not a
A
surprise.
bit unfortunate. Yeah.
In the Bible said, "Many were called and few were chosen." So the chosen few will continue to educate others, and the rest will join later on. So thank you so much for
Okay,
That's
your.
good.
Comrade Lal, have you been
Yeah.
saving this?
Eh?
Did you save this program somewhere or any
Yeah,
link?
yeah. It is going to be on YouTube as well if you want it, and if
Okay.
you
When will
then
that be on YouTube?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
it,
that'll be good.
It is going to be
yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube before
We
the day
yeah.
ends. In case if you want it as well, I can send it to you.
Yeah,
If you
that'll
want,
be good for our
if you,
records. Yeah,
if you want to go through it and transcribe, whatever information being discussed, I think it is good for the minutes of the party
yeah,
as well.
yeah. I think that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will be
yeah.
very good.
It
Okay.
will be actually sent. I think they may require these programs, and I think it will be really good
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
get
If you can send it, it will be great.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Send me
Yeah,
later on. I will email
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think David.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's two Davids as well.
yeah.
I just lost in the middle here. I could not really get. There was a good reflection that David was talking about, but I just lost. I could not really get. But it was very important thing when he talked about when he was questioning about the why we are disintegrated. Before we become so many in Australia, we were loving ourselves, we love our party, we love our struggle, but after we attained the independence, then the division came in, and why are we divided? So to me, I think it's a good question. And look, David,
Mm,
to be honest, it become our part of our culture. I'm not
mm,
taking you back chair because you already concluded, but
Yeah, yeah. No,
it's the most important part of it. So for you, a person to progress, you need to look at the what are the failures and what are the
mm,
progress.
mm,
All
mm,
right.
mm,
So the failures will not make you, failure will make you strong. Okay. So we have issues as a South Sudanese. We got a culture of not, supporting ourselves for national things. Sometimes
mm, mm, mm,
uh, the issue of disintegration is always influenced by what has happened back home. Anything that happened back home, it will automatically affect us, which should not happen. We should be the people different from people who are back home. We are there
mm,
to
mm,
support
mm,
them in ideas so that they see what they are doing is wrong, because that sort of behaviors and thinking is a backward. All right. So, and we are here to at least, cement some of the good thing that we are doing, or some of the people who are doing the good thing. We cement this, what they are doing, and we should not be a part of the destruction or the part of the bad thinking, of the bad idea or the bad ideology. So, it's good that to debate why are we always, disintegrated. Okay, where did we lose our unity? What has happened? Let's just try to put that question around, and we see each and every us will contribute to why we are always fall into that, and how we can improve it for the country to move forward. So it was a good question that you raised, and I think if we are to always debate such a thing as you put it, David, national issues always as a leader we can debate it. so that we get
Yeah,
the good
yeah.
answer for the benefit of the citizen. So I do appreciate your question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
think
think
we need to go.
to add on
Mm.
what Comrade Samuel said. If we talked, of course, yes, what we are doing today is a general reflections of on
Mm.
the liberation struggle. It is a history. We are just remembering and commemorating the lives of
Yeah.
our heroes who
Mm.
have perished during the struggle of two wars. And also, like it is just a normal celebration where we will not have an engagement of reflection of the topics or, engaging with the viewers as we are
Mm.
doing now. But because of this current situation, where what we, the situation that we are in now, and then that's the reason we made it as, like a forum. So of course, yes, time will come when we, as SPLM, uh,
Mm.
in diaspora or in Australia in particular, will engage and bring those questions to
Mm.
be of discussions, to be of discussion. Because, of course, yes, look, I agree with you, Comrade Samuel, and also Comrade David, that our unity matter, and
Yeah.
then you don't. Sometimes it is difficult to differentiate between the party and also the community, because we
Mm.
are actually interrelated.
They are the
We are
same.
actually
Yeah.
one thing. You
Mm.
are a community of a
Yeah.
particular tribe within the country, and I am
Mm.
also the rest. So if we don't have a unity within the community, and then there will be no basis for forming or actually following the structures of the party. But
Mm.
again, also within the particular party, people should at least engage, address the issues, and I
Yeah.
think SPLM is is working on this. That if by God willing, we will
Mm.
actually address those issues. We'll address those questions that are arising. Where is our unity? Because if we have a unity, and then we have to maintain our unity before we go to before we actually follow our political ideology. So,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, what we are celebrating today is not actually meant for SPLM alone. We even
Yeah.
invite our partners in peace. The SPLM IO, the SOA, the other
Mm.
parties, okay, to even join. Because at the end of the day, even the 16 May should not actually be looked at as if it is only men, or it is only something that should be remembered or should be
Mm.
celebrated as well. This is a better ideology. This is a South Sudanese, a general South Sudanese event that should be celebrated by all of us. Okay,
Mm.
if we are celebrating SPLM Day, of course, yes, the other party may at least be asking for invitation. But if we are
Mm.
celebrating a historical event, it has to be a general event that should be celebrated by all of us. It's like we are celebrating the independent. So
Mm.
16 May, those who are actually no longer the SPLM, doesn't mean that the history will actually minus them out from the history. This is like what Dave is talking about. It is a very big topic, and it is something that people should at least engage, for us to
Mm.
have more understanding on on who we are and then where we come from, and the history will also educate us.
Sure.
So it is very unfortunate that our people thinking and understanding it is a little bit awkward,
Mm,
as
mm, mm,
I
mm.
could say it, if it is the right word to use, because national events are actually for all the parties. We are the South Sudanese, okay? But we are taking the lead as the SPLM, because of course, yes, some parties members who are watching may argue, but this is actually I stand as a SPLM member that we will always stand our ground to make sure that all these events should not go in vain. This is our ideology, and but I like the the questions, but let actually find a time to debate it within our jurisdiction
Yeah.
at the
Mm.
Pelham in diaspora in Victoria,
Yep.
or
Yep.
and then we will organize some forum to engage on those questions,
Issues.
on
Yes.
those issues. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's what I can add so far. Otherwise, thank you for raising
Thank you.
that question,
Thank you,
Comrade David.
everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I
Samuel,
think.
thanks.
Yeah. Thank you to David, and
Okay.
thanks Ralph.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we are almost
Dol.
closing. And there was a question asked during the
Okay.
16 May celebration.
Mm.
The question was that there are 64 tribes in South Sudan. But one of the speakers said that there are 65, and one of the tribes is SPLM. Uh,
Mm.
I
That's
would
very
like to,
interesting.
I would like to confirm. Is that true?
No,
Well,
SPLM is not a tribe.
when, when you say 65, Luan, when you say 65, it might be true because the SPLM is a movement of the people, all the people. It has comprised, it has
Yeah,
involved
but
everybody. So they move as a one tribe. They don't move as a tribe, but they move as a one tribe because they move as they got a goal to achieve. So I can agree. It was a better tribe than the 64 tribe. That I can answer it.
I
In a
have
very
good
simple
questions for that.
answer to comrade who answered that questions, and who are the comrade who asked the question of how many tribes do we have in South Sudan, and the comrade in the other hand answered the questions. Of course, yes, in a very, let's take it, in a context of us being a ruling party, as
Mm.
Samuel stated it. Of course, it should not logically. It is something that we cannot argue because it is just kind of joke. But at least in a context of being a ruling party, uh, when you have all of us, we have families. If you are actually in your house, and then of course, yes, even the Bible mentioned that the man is the head of a family. So today, SPLM is the head of the Republic of South Sudan, and we are responsible for all 64 tribes that we
Right.
are talking about. So whether you are actually an IO, you are a SWA, you are any other party in South Sudan, we is like Comrade Salva Kiir today. Like in a simple term, we is our father. So if the SPLM is the ruling party, the SPLM has a big responsibility of handling or
All
protecting
big issues. Yeah.
or like running or trying at least to make sure that the country is in a good shape, and that's the reason why all the blames are put on us, and we always take them. so
All
so
about
of course, yes, that person, this is the meaning here, like he does not even, he's not trying to say like the SPLM had it as one of the tribes in South Sudan, because the number membership of
Hey,
the population of the SPLM cannot actually form cannot form the tribe. We cannot actually be able to at least to be a one of the tribes in South Sudan. Even the small tribes, even though SPLM is everywhere in South Sudan, we have a membership from all walk of life in South Sudan. But at least we are tribes because we are the ruling party. We are the people who are actually responsible for other the all the South Sudanese who exist in the country. So this is my understanding. But
Mm.
again, Peter Lwal, of course, you forgive the comrade who have his own, because he should be the one who can answer us and give us a good, a correct answer of why SPLM should be so.
I
Because yes, SPLM is a party. Yeah,
if time could allow me,
yeah.
uh, Comrade Luan, I could have an answer to this, but I don't want to
Yeah.
answer
No,
it
no,
now
no,
because
no. Just you can give us
first
that
of
we
all,
can benefit from it.
we
It
we
is, it is a reflection, so you can answer. But the question is, the guys, the civilians all around South Sudan think that there is a party, a tribe called SPLM, which is very good
Mm.
uh, in the context of what is happening, why roads are not built. So we blame the SPLM, not any tribe, which is so. And also they said that the SPLM don't have Koryom anymore; they have Katiba Chamcham. So so it is in a way that the SPLM need to reflect whether they are serving the that they all fought for. And I took it is very positive because blaming a certain tribe for anything to do with the party or the government always is too negative. So the guy, and I think that was the context.
Mm.
So, but again, David Tanya is the chairperson of the SPLM in Australia. Do we have Katiba Chamcham in South
we,
Sudan?
we we don't have Ketiv Cham Cham. I don't know where it is. Asma, you see, comrade, what is good about SPLM or the, the country, when we talk about the government, we will always, bring SPLM as, the government itself, even though we have a government of national unity at the moment. So, of course, yes, Peter Lual, SPLM is always open for debate and engagement. And about, it is not, even though, what I know so far, so Sudanese are actually they are very quick in anything, like they're ahead of things. Like people are talking about Singapore is 40 years ahead of their actually, developmental goals. That's the reason that actually they become very quick as a first world country. So Sudanese are very, in a common sense, and even this is something that we know, and sometimes the SPLM as a party, uh, sometimes we tried at least to ignore certain issues here and there and blame and also criticism, because this is how it is. You need to learn to live with South Sudanese in terms of criticism. Like if you want to be a leader, you need to learn to be patient, to live within this society called South Sudan. And we are like Israel, and this is very good for us. I mean, from us, it's very good, because it encourages a very big development. I mean, it encourage the leaders to look into issues in detail, and also to consider things in a very good way of I mean, to solve issues in very good ways, or in a very systematic way. So we are actually open for debate. Of course, Kitebe Shamsham will be translated in a different ways, in a different context. You may talk about, maybe people are talking about corruption. I don't believe if you talk about corruptions, it is something that we can discuss, the whole day. We can have a debate, because Ketebe Shamsham, and I believe 100%, whoever is asking, and you will agree with me, Peter Lwal, I think they mean what they meant for Ketebe Shamsham is actually, like individual who are actually, corrupt within the government. So we talk about corruption, it has to be a topic apart from our debate today, which is good. And I would encourage you as the as the one of the activists, who a writer, and also very good knowledgeable South Sudanese, to find a time to also bring all these individuals, to South Sudanese, to talk about the issues, and ask that questions in a very hot debate, where SPLM will be able to answer. But in a simple answer that I want to tell you, and I respect the comrade who has that question, but at the moment we don't have so-called Ketib Jamsham. We don't know where this Ketib Jamsham can be found. But he has a right or he may have knowledge of that Ketib Jamsham. But next time, I would love to at least debate with that guy, and then we so that we can actually clarify to him that of course we have only a party called SPLM, who is a ruling party, a party who is fighting very hard to make sure that peace comes back to South Sudan. We have actually compromised a lot to bring peace back to South Sudan, and that's the reason why we are talking about the national unity of national government of national unity. We are talking about all these things that we are actually seeing, the developmental projects of connecting South Sudan the states. We are talking about taking kids back to schools. We are talking about a lot of things, and these are the initiative that SPLM has actually fought for. And yeah, brother, we don't have Kidem Jamjam as SPLM. Thank you.
Yeah, I think let David Taban answer that. Maybe you want to answer. Have you gone, David?
David is not online now. I think he is up, but he may
Oh,
join sometime.
all right. I
He
think
was in good case. He was also,
Joel,
yeah, welcome.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think what I mean before is when he said is in South Sudan is not only 64 tribe but it's 65. So if they mean the party, well, as David put it, we always face challenges. As the movement started in 1983, uh, who is this?
Andrew, how are you?
I don't.
Uh,
Since the movement started in 1983, it was started smoothly, but at the middle, uh, issues of blaming, issues of saying that I'm better than the other one is not capable of being this, just arrived. And, Dr. Grang said, Nana Mang Mang Usura Machigidam. All right. So, for those who try to blame the party as the one now, a tribe of Cham Cham, uh, yes, that they're entitled I mean, they're entitled to say that. But in the reality, uh, in the country where we are, which is the first world country now, they have gone through all these challenges. But at the end, when things are debated, then all these small problems, small mistakes can be rectified and people can move forward. But one thing that is a tribe will kill us is a tribe of, not forgiving each other. That's the tribe is going to kill us. We don't accept ourselves as one people, and then we think on how to develop the country. That's the only tribe that's going to kill us, as James Wani always said it, that Unsuria defina, Luma defina Unsuria defina. So that's the only tribe that's going to kill us. So that person is entitled to describe the party as a cham cham. But we say, yes, we are the leading party. We'll improve all our wrongdoing thing. And I'm sure in few years to come, they will see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I think that you people have answered very well, and I think that is the spirit we need from the SPLM, because many of us have been diehard of the SPLM. But
Mm.
sometimes it is good to, even the Bible, Proverbs number 12 said, "He who loves correction love knowledge." So if we happen to correct or praise the party, that means the party belongs to those who are registered members, which is very good. If we move out of the tribe and start criticizing the SPLM and other parties, I think that's positive. And
Mm.
thank you, Samuel and David. Thanks. Uh, Andrew, we are very sorry. I hope you lost someone. We are sorry. We are with you and with the family. If you have anything to reflect on, uh, David Haban, I think it's up. Then you can start. Thanks so much. Hello, Andrew. Andrew was meant MC of the programs, but he lost someone. That's why he couldn't make it. Andrew,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Andrew,
I think it's finding hard to join.
yeah, he's trying to adjust.
Yeah.
Andrew, Andrew, I think he has internet issues. Andrew,
I think it's off, Andrew. I was off too, and then yeah.
yeah,
yes,
Andrew is now put.
yes, I can hear you.
So you're welcome, Mr. MC. Welcome.
Well,
Mr. MC.
He's the,
Comrade Andrew.
so we
Com-
took your.
Mm.
Welcome,
uh,
welcome, Andrew.
mm.
Yeah, I think the.
Yeah. I
So
think mine is running out of power, so I may also disappear.
yeah, okay. If you have any closing statement, that would be nice, Samuel West. And I think we may be coming here from time to time. Melbourne is very much affected by coronavirus, and we would love to hear from elders and anybody to give word of encouragement, even awareness as well. So please feel free anytime if there is any topic that you want to discuss with the public. So that's what we normally do. We do public educations. And if you need any books, there are a lot of books here. Even Francis Mading Deng, his book is going to be out soon. The Invisible Bridges and African Cultures. And a book by Lama Kola, I've just checked an email now. We're doing the indexing, the genesis of the Anyanya one. So there are a lot of books coming out, and I think with your a lot of experience, David, in the camps, you would be also in a good position to write a book with David and all the speakers. This, you know, this is this is his product on the shelf. So next year,
Okay.
I would expect all the speakers to have their book on the shelf.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Comrade Lwal,
Yeah,
like for example, if I want to order books, like the hard copies,
yeah.
should it be just sent, or how do you? I will call you after the show, and then I'll inquire about it.
And good you. Only you when you put the you in my account.
Ma baga your finya.
All right.
Baga your finya, yeah.
Uh,
All right. Briefly, because Samuel is gonna go off.
Yeah.
Comrade Andrew, we are winding up the program. We already wind up the program, but at least we were debating some questions that were raised by Comrade Peter Lwal. The question that he received from viewers, and of course, yes, we actually received your apology, and also put forward. So later, maybe when you get a chance, you can go back and also the whole programs. So if you have anything to say,
It's all right. It's okay. I was just watching it. I was listening to it when I was driving,
okay, good.
and it's still. I'll be back to the same program. They need me around 6:15.
Okay,
It's a
good.
very
Okay.
busy day for me. Very sad day, and good news at the same time.
Yeah.
yeah.
I hope you
Thank
went
Andrew.
well. Yeah.
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 So yeah, otherwise all good, and if Peter Lual is there, if you have anything, Samuel, then you can say it,
No,
and
I think.
then we can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you make a closing remark, Quer, because in Portugal, when the Quer said the last word, that's it. So,
Yeah. Nah, you can't. Yeah, you're right. You're right,
yeah,
Samuel.
yeah. At least at least we have to, just do discuss things outside the topic. So otherwise,
Yes,
you are making a
that's for
closing
sure.
remark, and then if you made a closing remark, that's it. So we have to, if we have some time, we can discuss other issues that pertaining our life here, and I think we will have some time to do
We'll
that.
do it
But
on the
now,
phone. Yeah.
otherwise now you have made the closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter. Right.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Peter Lwal.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Bye.
Yeah, I come late. I know.
Do you want to say something? You can say.
No,
Huh?
I will say that after the program close, I can call you when there is because
Oh,
the boss already closed everything, so we can't talk behind him.
okay, good. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.